Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. This 3-year-old question, I've been hearing this question every single day the past 3 years that I've been doing content for Raid, and it's justified in the sense that, okay, not everybody has started playing 3 years ago. They start at different points. They don't know what to do with their accounts and who to level up. That is the question. Who should be my next level 60? We'll be answering it in this video. I'm on the free-to-play account today on purpose. We're answering this question because it makes it more clear where you're on a brand new account. This is not always a brand new account question, but for this one, it makes it easier to just showcase on which my choices were and the chronological order which I leveled up my champions. First champion that I leveled up on this account was Aethel. Aethel was my starter account champion. The reason for that was, well, I picked up Aethel because I didn't want to pick up Kale because it's a usual thing to do. And as your starter champion, you want to be farming campaign, and you take that champion first to level 60, assuming you don't get like a very lucky pull at the start, which I didn't get. Next up, the next level 60 that I went for was Coffin Smasher. This was a lucky pull, I think from an ancient or a mystery shard, but Coffin Smasher was a decision that I made because I wanted to focus for Clan Boss. Clan Boss is the area everybody should be focusing on when they make a new account, or even if they're still in the considering themselves in the mid game. Okay, mid game means you're still pushing for Clan Boss, but you may be a Nightmare, still trying to figure out Ultra Nightmare. Clan Boss should be your #1 priority. Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss plus a Nightmare Clan Boss chest every single day gives you the best odds for books and shards and all the good stuff that we can get as free to play or in general as players without spending any money. All right, so those rewards, you can get them with a very good Clan Boss team. Coffin Smasher enables that because he has what we're looking for from champions that we want to take to level 60. We need specific debuffs applied from those champions, and that's how your decision making should start out. When you're getting a champion, go all the way to their skills without even going to YouTube, because I mean, we've got over 600 champions. You can't check every single one of the champions before you even get them, just to understand who's good or not. Once you get the champion, you can usually go and check them out, but it's very easy. Just go to their skills. Do they have a debuff? Yes. What kind of debuff is it? Is it a decreased attack debuff on the default skill? That's a very good thing to have, especially for Clan Boss. Decreased attack is the king of debuffs to have in a non-unkillable team. The reason is it halves the damage from the Clan Boss to your own champions. Very crucial to have in, again, non-unkillable teams, which is something that you will be building starting the game from day one all the way until you eventually, if you ever get an unkillable or a block damage team. Okay, after that you don't need this specific debuff. Then what else does the champion have other than the decreased attack? There's champions that have just this skill, but this one also has this skill right here, which is an HP burn, one of the strongest debuffs in terms of damage that you can do, since it does percentage damage on the boss. Okay, even though it's capped, it's still a very good amount, and it scales depending on the rarity of champion that applies the HP burn. So if it's a rare, if it's an epic, or if it's a legendary, the damage is different. Okay, for the HP burns, and only one debuff can be applied. And then of course the passive is great because it reduces damage taken, so that was a good decision to do. Next up, I thought, okay, I need to get some sort of team going, and eventually I pulled Kale. Okay, Kale was not immediately my next level 60, but he wasn't the decision that I took to 60, because if you look at this account right now, it has 0 poisons. 0 poisons. Of course, Fire King the Fat, I'll talk about this in a little bit, but this was a very recent pull. Kale, why did I level up Kale? Because he's got the poisons. He's got the poisons on the A1, and this basically enables the Clan Boss damage to be exponentially better than any other debuff that is applied by a rare champion that you can get pretty quickly. Okay, if eventually you'll get a Frozen Banshee, which is much better than Kale in terms of rare that applies poisons, but again, you do with what you have. So you look for the poisons. If you get a 5% poison champion that can apply them through their debuffs, then that's a great choice to have. Okay, but not all poison champions are equal, and some are good, some are bad. You have to look at all their other skills and how they can fit within your team. That's why always this question, who should be your next level 60, really depends on also the quality of the account and where you want to guide your account towards. Because Raid is not really a game where you need to be competitive at all times. The competitive part is only the PvP. Everywhere else, you can go at your own pace and you don't really care. You can go for the cloud boss, which is the most efficient way to go, but you can do other stuff. Just you can play the game however you like. And what I'm doing with this video is just guiding you through the decisions that are most efficient. So next champion that I pulled was Apothecary. Apothecary was a great champion to have. He's got the speed up buff and the speed boosting. In a non-speed tuned team, Apothecary is king, plus he's healing. The speed buff and the speed boosting is just amazing overall in all areas of the game. When you get your level 60 champions, you have to think, okay, how will they benefit all the areas of the game? Not just clan boss specifically, but can I use a champion in more than one areas? So Kale, even Coffin Dispatcher, Aethel, Apothecary, all these champions can be used in almost all areas of the game. Arena, not so much for Coffin Dispatcher, but I'm fine with using him everywhere else. The decreased attack is very good for the Ice Golem boss, where the attacks are very strong and can actually take out your whole team. Poisons are very strong against Dragon and the Ice Golem. Speed boosting and healing is great, plus the defense aura is great overall as a defensive mechanism to survive a little bit longer. And then what you want to be looking for your other level 60 champions is revives, heals, cleanses, and those can actually be gotten from Doom Priest and Ugo. Another great thing to have, which brings us to Farrakhan Fat, is all ally attack, defense down as a debuff, because that increases your damage not only from War Master, the tier 6 mastery that you get right here from the offense tree, War Master or Giant Slayer, that is increased by both weaken and defense down. Farrakhan the Fat is just amazing because he provides increased critical rate, increased critical damage, HP burn, poison. So all of the debuffs that I've mentioned throughout this video so far, it's almost in a single champion. That's why Farrakhan the Fat is like an MVP in terms of clan boss and where the direction in terms of efficiency goes when choosing which your next level 60 champion will be. After this point, after you know which your clan boss team will be, your next level 60 champion should be something where you want to be shifting your focus to next. Is it going to be arena? Then you need to be focusing next on your arena champions, okay, who will be built specifically as an arena only champion. Let's say Maya Best could be built as an arena only nuker. She will not have that much of a benefit in other areas of the game, maybe Dragon, but other than that, I don't see a Best being used so much compared to the first couple of champions that I mentioned in the video. So that's how the goal of the account changes as I already take my champions to 60 plus masteries. My goals shift and the direction of the account slowly shifts as well. Then there's dungeons where very specific champions can be very good, such as Armiger or Cold Heart if you've got one. Armiger is a crucial for all accounts out there, so eventually every single account will have one to be taken to 60. You cannot really have an account where you wish to be doing content and not have an Armiger at 60. This is like a standard thing to have, very easy to get champion, very easy to equip, and once you equip them right, you really see the potential from Armiger because he's got that turn meter reduction on his A1 and a max health skill on his A2. In terms of masteries, that's a whole different topic that I could go into, but masteries are not really required by many champions to see their full usefulness. You can get them to level 50 with barely any masteries and you will still see their utility come out to play. For Armiger as an example, Cold Heart, my Cardinal right here, her utility comes from her revives when I eventually get her maxed out in terms of level, and probably her skills also. The revives and the healing will be where I will be benefiting from with Cardinal. And once all that is done, you're reaching a point where, okay, you've got the dungeons dealt with, arena. What is left is, of course, faction wars, where the rewards are there and they're visual, and you'll see Lydia in the end. That's where you want to be starting to building your faction wars teams, getting your champions for each specific faction leveled up. And what I've mentioned so far, the same thing carries on for each specific faction, because you're going to be faction locked. You want to be looking for those specific debuffs that I mentioned. So the damage debuffs. So poisons are good, but not that great in faction wars. But the defense down, the heals, stuns are great for faction wars. So you want to be looking for that in terms of champions. You want to be looking for revivers. You want to be looking something that will help you get that 3-star completion. That's the most important thing. It's not really getting it the fastest in terms of farming. It's all about getting it the 3-star completion, so you can go down the list and get all the stars, and that's how you complete the faction wars. And when all that is over, you have the Doom Tower to worry about, where each stage has pretty well, not its own strategy, but like an overall strategy for Doom Tower is just get control, get stuns, provokes, freezes if you can, so you get through the waves. You can do that slowly, and then each specific boss has its specific strategy where you might need to be leveling up specific champions. And if you do have them already leveled up, then that's one step that you don't need to take again, because let's say you've got the Armiger leveled up where his uses are multiple within these bosses. And let's just give an example of I'm gonna give an example of Armiger being used on Nether Spider. You can use Armiger in there for the max HP damage, single target, so he doesn't mess up with the small spiderlings. Other champions such as Apothecary are just great because healing, speed boosting, speed buffs, general control from champions who do AoE damage can be used when they have a stun set on them, or if they've got just control skills, they can also use those to just control the whole Doom Tower. And then finally, in terms of who to level up, should be champions focused for the most difficult part of the game, which at the moment, as of this video being released, is going to be Hydra. And that's where the account should be. The last thing you need to be focusing on about is getting enough champions for having 3 teams for Hydra. I know Hydra is going to be very difficult for many out there, but it is what it is, and it's something that you'll eventually need to be building a team, at least for normal. And with the future changes that might be coming to the Hydra, we don't know the exact details. Hydra might become way easier than it is right now, and be able to get those fragments for Mithrala much quicker than it is right now. So this was the video, guys. I think I've guided enough in terms of who should your next level 60 be. This question has been asked multiple times. I've done many coachings in terms of takeovers where I've guided people through their account and explain, okay, this champion should be your next focus. And the most frequent guidance that I gave was in terms of, well, clan boss. Guide your account towards the maximum damage that you can at the moment for clan boss, and then once you do that, then you move to the next part. And that's how you make your account the best it could be at any specific moment until a new champion comes in, or you get more gear, or more resources, or you just whale out, who knows. Anyway, guys, this was the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.